They don't go after you if you're weak. If you follow the rules of the system and you do what they tell you to,
they don't. Yeah,
you're safe.
You're way safe, and it doesn't matter, man. It does not matter to them who you are. If you're not on their team, they get to take everything from you. Roseanne Barr, the Tate brothers. If you think for yourself, you're out. Elon Musk started thinking for himself. He's out. And here we are.
It does help, though, to have, a couple $100 billion in the bank. That doesn't hurt when you get canceled. But the Tate brothers right now are facing an evil slew of charges against them. 11 charges against Tristan Tate specifically from over a decade ago from the same woman. How does that even happen? So no other women, no other charges, 11 from the same woman. That is clear political motivation. That is trying to lock them up for life. Andrew Tate also facing a slew of charges, the same exact thing. You can clearly see the political motivation. They were held in Romania against their will for a long time, charged with these crazy things that don't make any sense, no evidence at all. They had to basically dismiss those charges. So now they're coming after them again. And this time it is a court that is even more evil. It is a court in the UK that is controlled by some of the worst globalists on earth. And Tristan and Andrew, they're not perfect. They've made mistakes. They've done bad stuff. But they are not guilty. And they're only going after them because of what they say, not because of what they've done.
The problem with the UK that I have is, and the problem with what they're doing after them for, is they made themselves easy targets. They have a history, right? So there's a history behind the Tate brothers. And you could say that they talked about being strong, standing up strong. And that was offensive to a lot of people, especially in Europe. But this is the same UK that locked the woman up, threw her in jail for a felony for speaking out against illegals over in the UK. This is the same UK. This is the same UK that says that you don't have, you have no ability to think for yourself. So we're going to run through this today. We got a bunch of stuff we're going to go through today. We're going to talk racism today. We're going to talk racism. We're going to be honest about racism. And you might not like it. You might like it.
You probably will. You always like it. You have to like it.
But all that and a whole lot more, all the election fraud, we're going to touch on that happening in Colorado and the fact that they're freaking out. And we'll touch on Tina Peters too, all today on Untamed. So stay tuned for it.
Take two. Cut.
Take two. I want to talk to my people. I want to talk to my brothers and sisters. We can have grace and humility in how we interact with other people.
All right, follow me with this.
But they've been using their power to obstruct and stop justice from taking place.
You want to pray us out?
I do.
We'll pray for Tina. And let's have conversations about what truth is.
So if you're wondering the details of what is happening right now as we speak, they're in the UK. They're likely going to face prison for life if they're able to convict them on the worst counts of these clearly politically motivated charges. And we have a news clip for an A1 that we're going to play first. Take a look at this and listen very clearly to the charges against them.
It is the Crown Prosecution Service clarifying, as they put it, the situation regarding Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan. And they say, we can confirm that we have authorised charges against Andrew and Tristan Tate for offences including rape, human trafficking, controlling prostitution, and actual bodily harm against 3 women. These charging decisions follow receipt of a file of evidence from Bedfordshire police. A European arrest warrant was issued in England in 2024, and as a result, the Romanian courts then ordered the extradition to the UK of Andrew Tate and his brother. However, says the CPS, domestic criminal matters, which the brothers are also facing in Romania, must be settled first. And then the CPS says We remind everyone that criminal proceedings are active and that the defendants have a right to a fair trial. But confirmation that the CPS has authorised charges against Andrew Tate and his brother for offences including rape and human trafficking.
What even is that? Bodily harm by doing what? Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, for what they are not two men who are going to physically harm women. They've admitted in the past, and we know they have used the cam model business where women chose to work for them, essentially. That's not kidnapping. That's not physical assault against a woman. And so even if that's wrong, which it is, it's not a crime. And I happen to think Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, especially today, some of the things they've done bad in the past, they're no longer doing those things. And now what they're doing is they're using their platform for good. They're calling out evil. They're exposing the atrocities committed by the Israeli government and others around the world, including the UK government especially. That's one of the reasons why these charges are coming forward. They're very loud voices in opposition to the elite class that has been doing so much damage to our country. And that's why, regardless of anything else, we have to stand up for them. We have to, especially when we know these charges are clearly unprovable. They're charges that are designed to basically throw the book at them for political reasons. It's obvious.
All right, so let's look at this from a different lens. Trafficking of women and children is insanely evil, right?
Right.
And when you look at the crimes that they're saying they did, it smells of the same type of philosophy that they went after President Trump with. Now, obviously, it's in the UK, and they can use these very sensational headlines and these charges. And so I'm a little torn. I'm not torn by the fact that I think the Tate brothers did it, because I don't. I don't think they did. I don't think if they did, the charges stem from things that they said happened over a decade ago. Over a decade. So what happened during that decade? Prior to the Tate brothers coming forward and saying this is just nonsense, the Tate brothers didn't have a reputation for being womenizers. Actually, let me just. They had a reputation for being in what they call the pimp game, right? In other words,
specifically OnlyFans models, what they would do is they would have them come and live with them, take control of the account, post for them, run it for them, have them post things.
Right. They produced a show, an online show that you could go watch.
Yeah, it's the same thing that Hollywood does for the most part. Where if what they're doing is trafficking, then what Hollywood is doing is also trafficking. It's the same exact thing, pretty much.
Well, I mean, look, I don't agree with the model. I know that they got out of it. It's like, okay, we did this and we got out of it. I know that there are a lot of people that are not the same person that they were, 10 years ago or 5 years ago.
Right.
But my problem is that if they did these things, it would not come out a decade or a decade and a half later. Then there's no question that you have, good-looking guys that can go out there and bed women and get women to do things. And that's just a fact of life. And whether or not they're engaged in that, I don't think it's true. I just don't. But they don't do themselves any justice either in some of the things that they say. It's not just the questioning of Israel and the questioning of kind of this global cabal, which we all know, because it's very easy to see. It's the fact that they were easy targets. They were very, very, very easy targets. I almost said something I didn't want to say. But Andrew Tate had something to say. He actually came out and he questioned the legitimacy of the charges and the alleged victim. And I don't want to shame a victim, but they went out. I know this for a fact. They went out and looked for women that had a problem with the Tate brothers. They did it in Romania. They did it in the UK. They were out there looking for anyone. They were asking questions. The Tate brothers were talking about this a year ago. They're actually out there talking to anyone that we did business with and saying, do any of you have a problem with the Tate brothers? So we know that there's a lack of legitimacy from that standpoint. But here's what Andrew had to say.
And I'll say this publicly. As we speak right now, the UK is trying to put me in jail. England, because Romania has failed, so England has picked up. And England's coming up to me with all this garbage, and they're going to try and charge me soon with some imaginary crimes.
Maybe it's why they'll drop the documentary.
Well, there you go. Of course, because you have to poison the public's mind.
Yep. To believe that you
to
are
believe
this evil
that,
guy.
right? So the UK is trying to put me in jail. And I'm saying this now on this podcast. Everyone, listen to me. The UK is coming next. Romania's failed. UK's picked it up. And as the UK try and put me in jail, I sit and I wonder. I say, imagine being a prosecutor. I probably shouldn't say this stuff. I'm just going to say it. And you get paid, I don't know, $3,000 a month or whatever, $2,000 a month. And you're sitting there just looking through my whole life for months. Oh, you made money. Oh, that's a lot of money. That must be a crime. Oh, a Ferrari. Oh, that's a crime. Oh my God, he has a nice watch. Crime. Like, and it's just sitting there. The obsession. And for like 6 months, just sitting there.
Just analyzing
obsessed.
everything. Yeah.
Like, it's kind of weird that there's all these full-grown adults with this much obsession, making documentaries, trying to take me down, prosecutors in dark rooms going through my life trying to take me down, ex-girlfriend blowing up my phone who I don't reply to anymore. Like, everyone's just like, it's weird. And I just wake up going, there's so many other people's lives which are just intertwined with mine or obsessed with the idea of trying to be involved in mine. It's actually very weird.
He's right. They are obsessed, and they're obsessed because of the influence he has on young men and how he's not allowing them to fall victim to the same systems that were created by the same people who are going after him right now.
There's something more to it. There's something more to it. I mean, I'm looking at it, and he says that it's a concerted effort by a small group of people. Matt, it's bigger than that. He pissed off a person. He pissed on a person. There is somebody in this mix that he pissed on and pissed off, took away their man card, went to a club, did something specific to them. Like, the system is not, the system wants to keep him quiet based on what he says, but the way that they're going about this from Romania to the UK, this is political in a way that it's hard to ignore. This is not just his voice. He did something to someone, and they told him, I'm coming for you. And he laughed about it. And then this is them coming for him.
And
that's what it feels
like. It is true. If you put yourself in a position where you're around a lot of women, there are going to be some, especially if you're around those types of women who are likely to be involved in that, drugs potentially, oftentimes, or at the very least, a very low sense of self-worth, the ability to make money online selling your body. Most women don't have that mindset. The ones that do are built differently in a bad way. And so when you surround yourself with a lot of women like that, you can expect that you're going to at some point have consequences as a result, whether it's fake charges, especially in this day and age, whether it's them trying to get a big payday, which we see all the time. And it does drown out. There are real victims of trafficking. And most of them, by the way, the perpetrators of those crimes never get caught. It's always the ones who aren't the real traffickers that have the charges because it's politically motivated. And then the ones who really do the trafficking get off scot-free and are able to pretend to be killed in a jail cell like Epstein. And now he's probably sitting on one of his other islands somewhere, relaxing
I think he's
on
dead.
a beach, having fun.
I think he's dead.
He's still alive, Joe. He's out there.
Right.
He's probably watching the show right now, laughing his ass off.
Yeah, I think he's dead.
Got a couple underage girls on each arm, watching the show, sitting somewhere on an island, being evil.
Okay, maybe. But I think he's dead. I think they killed him. There's no way you keep a guy alive like that has that many, knows where all the bodies are buried. And Epstein knew where all the bodies are buried. And, I heard that you had Mayor Giuliani came out yesterday. And he said, the only reason the Epstein files haven't come out is because there's someone in a position of authority through national security that they're either watching or they just realize, maybe. I mean, this is what he said. I think that there's lots of people that from a national security standpoint it's problematic for them. But it's going to come out that those guys are the ones that the reason why they didn't let it come out. And it'll be in the same thing. We'll be 80 years old. I'll be 80 years old when it comes out. They finally declassify it 40 years later. And all the people that would have been held accountable will all be dead.
That's right. And speaking of you eventually being 80 years old, there happened to be a pretty important day yesterday. Wasn't there, Joe? Wasn't there an important day? And you know what?
You guys missed it.
We may or may not have a little surprise for you, Joe, here on the show. That may or may not be walking through that door any moment now. It could be something that you may like. If we want to go ahead and bring it out. Apollo.
What are you guys doing?
We may have a surprise for you, Joe.
You may have.
We may or may not have a surprise, and the surprise isn't fake charges. Oh, look at that!
Oh my! Look at what I have. Oh, thank you. Not allowed to have candles in the studio, so I blow out my candles.
Apollo, just put fake candles on the screen.
He'll light it up. He'll just put a flame over top of me. Just burn up Joe. Hey, I need a fork. Yeah, so can I eat some of this while I'm in?
Call a little early.
I got a little.
You got some bite-sized ones.
I got some little ones too.
Yeah, so we'll handle this.
All right. So what are these? Do you want one of these bite-sized little?
Absolutely. I mean, we also have to sing "Happy Birthday." I mean, we can't. Apollo needs to turn on that mic over there. We need to get some of those vocals going.
So which ones are these? What are these? Which ones are these? Check these out. I got little itty bitties. Which one? Okay, that sounds really good. I'm gonna be chomping on all these. Here, pal, here you go. Take one of those.
Don't mind if I do.
We're gonna eat some muffins on. Thank you. That was my daughter, by the way. And that's blueberry, right? That's raspberry? Oh, don't let anybody eat that. I gotta have some. Don't let them eat all of it anyway.
And by the way, for everyone who likes the video, you can have one if you want. You just got to stop by.
Yeah, come on by.
Yeah, stop by. You got it, but you do have to like the video if you want one. They're very delicious looking. I can't wait to try this.
We're really good.
Are you? Before we eat though, we gotta say happy birthday, right, Apollo? Are you ready? Birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Oldman. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, that was good.
See, I was trying to be as softly singing as possible because Apollo's outshining me significantly in that portion there.
Do you know he had a scholarship for singing?
I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. He's a you're a Pocapello?
A gay man?
No.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called if you have a scholarship for singing.
No, he was really good. He was really good. What is it called, Apollo? Where you have you're a tenor, bass.
Tenor.
Well, he's usually good. He has some tunes. He can. Bruno Mars was going to steal him.
We may have to start a Christmas Carol.
I actually am Bruno Mars. It's an AI face.
Well, that
those are really good. Wow.
My goodness, I'm going to get so
amazing.
fat. Oh, that's so good. Thank you. You're right. I'm hungry.
I got my Christian water here too. So.
Oh, you're.
My Christian water.
Are we just advertising for people right now?
Yeah,
we got bun cakes. Nothing but bun cakes. We just want to say thank you to you. And Chick-fil-A, shout out to you. Christian filet.
Even though they did have a couple gay statements a couple years ago, but we'll let it slide.
Yes, they did.
We'll let it slide.
You did hear what some of the stuff they said, right?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
He went over there and cleaned the shoes, somebody's shoes. CEO did.
Yeah, I remember that.
All right. So Tate, he doesn't help himself because he came out and he said, I made money in the pimp game. It didn't make it very hard for them to look for people that didn't like him. All they do is find a girlfriend that scorned a girlfriend. But I mean, so it didn't, but he had this to say. Let's go ahead and play it, can we? Let's play the part where he talks about.
I was all about trying to get paid. Like I used sex as a tool to make women love me so they'd obey me and live in my house to make me money. That's what I wanted. So I was a pimp in that sense.
Being kickboxer, yeah. Playboy,
Pimp.
I'm happy with those labels so far.
But the majority of my money wasn't made in fighting. My money was actually made in the pimp game. We need to understand some basic concepts to the pimp game. Basic concepts to the realities between men and women. Women need a man to do OnlyFans. It's the same reason a woman need a man to do anything, because they're incompetent and they're very, very lazy. And they're stupid. When you're pimping bitches like me, it's a full-time job. So yeah, on corporatetape.com I have my PhD program, and that is, PhD is a pimp and hose degree that I'm... Welcome to the TATE PhD course. If you've bought this course, which you obviously have, congratulations, you're going to change your life for the better. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm fucking certified. I know I don't look like a pimp right now.
Clever.
That teaches basically how I got girls, how I met girls, how I got girls to like me, how I got girls to fall in love with me to work on webcam for me. If you're on dates and you're trying to mention it and shit, it just doesn't work. It puts them off. I'd never do that. That's disgusting. I'm not a whore. It's just not gonna work. You continue as normal, no mention of webcam. By taking girls who didn't know how to be effective on webcam, girls who had never done webcam before, girls who didn't have the equipment, didn't have the know-how, didn't have the will, didn't have the premises, didn't have the ability to make money with this exchange. I created a system that allowed me to convince girls to do this, allowed me to retain 100% control of their income. You start with a girl, you download OnlyFans on your phone, you take her ID pictures, her name, everything it takes to verify the account. You verify the account on your phone, and you control the account.
Take the step.
So you are now in charge of her.
He made it really difficult for people. I mean, no, I don't think he did it. But yes, I think he made it. He was a very easy target.
He did make it way too easy. And I will say he rose to fame by saying crazy stuff like that. A lot of it was him joking. Some of it was him being serious and explaining what he did. But since he's become famous, I do think he has mostly, at least, used that platform for good. To call out evil, to try to make men be stronger, and to make a lot of money for himself, let's be honest, but that's okay. You know, it's part of the economic state of the world right now. People want to get rich and make money. But at the end of the day, when you are saying things like, I'm taking it on my phone, I'm convincing women by kind of tricking them a little bit, yeah, it makes you an easy target. It makes it so that they can then put these fake charges out and people can play clips like that and say, see, I told you, look, he admitted to it. Now, that's not illegal. None of the things he said are illegal, but they can pretend like it is and they can use it to silence him. And that's what's happening.
Okay. So I agree with you. At the same time, I wouldn't say the things that he said. Because if I said the things that he said, I would have to believe those things about my sister, about my wife, about my daughter. You know what I mean? So, you know, where I like some of the things that the Tate brothers say, I don't like how they got there. And it's okay. I don't have to like how they got there. I can say that the system is going after them for a reason and still not agree with, you know, the way that they are degraded. And maybe he's right. Maybe he's not right. I mean, there are people, we're going to talk about one person in particular that thinks he is right, a woman that thinks he's right, you know, but it's antithetical to me to say that I would support his lifestyle, because I wouldn't, because that would mean that I have to think less of the women around me. I mean, how do you reconcile that? You have three daughters. You know what I mean?
It's not the way to happiness. Having a bunch of women, it's not the way to long-term happiness. It's not going to work out when it comes to the family structure and the way that typically leads to happiness for most people. Now, for Andrew, maybe that's different. Maybe he's loving it. That's one thing.
You can't.
You're
empty.
I think it does make you less happy. It makes you less fulfilled. And he does have kids with multiple women who are currently at home. And I'm sure his kids love him. And I'm sure his kids are very upset, those who are old enough to understand it, with what is happening and with what's been happening. They've already been in prison without their kids for a long time. That's hard as a kid. And so as a father of 3 girls, as you mentioned, Joe, it does make it hard to kind of justify some of the language he was using. It does make it hard. But if I had sons, I wouldn't think any differently. I mean, you shouldn't be treating women specifically in that way. It's not the way to happiness. But at the same time, there are some types of women on this planet who crave that and who want to be part of that and who are addicted to things like that and who are easily addicted to problems and who spend their time in Miami nightclubs and who try to seek out men like that. And so it's very different to look at a woman like the women that are in our life who are nothing like that versus the women who Andrew Tate is associating with and who he's profiting with that are very different types of women. So that's also the other angle to it that's important to keep in mind. And those types of women are also way more likely to then do a cash grab later because they're with you for the money. They're with you because of the status. They're with you because of those artificial reasons. And therefore, the chances they will be loyal to you are lower.
Do you know who started this?
Who?
Hugh Hefner. Playboy Mansion. He started it.
He did, formerly Jewish atheist.
I mean, but we give people free passes all the time. We don't want to give the Tate brothers a free pass because of how they speak up. I don't give anybody free passes, by the way. I think that you have a miserable life if you live the life that he lived. You just do, because you're constantly in conflict. You're constantly, you are. I mean, and you could say, oh, he loved it because he had, women around him all the time. I wouldn't want, frankly, sorry, I've been married 23 years, man. I love my wife. I love my wife. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I haven't done things in the past that I don't, but I call it before Jesus. But I am going to tell you that it's not a way to live your life. Now we have to ask ourselves a question. Are they going after him politically for something that he said? Is it the fact that he's strong and he's teaching men to be strong? Because if you're teaching men about pimps and hoes, then most of these demons would accept them into their tribe. I think what they're doing is running away from that. I think they're getting into a place where they're starting to realize their own mortality. And I think in that strength that they have and that intelligence of being able to manipulate, which I cannot condone. I don't think they did anything wrong. I think they stayed within the game. You call it the pimp game. But I think that now we have to start looking at whether or not they are the phenomenon of who they are, which, by the way, Hugh Hefner did it. There's other people that have done this. Hollywood does it. But now they started calling out Israel. And is that where it all started? And look, you cannot be a simpleton and say, oh, you don't agree with Israel, you're an anti-Semite. Now, you're a simple-minded person if you say that. You can talk about the fact they don't want people to die. Let's start there. But here's what he said. He did call them out. Here's what he said. He called out the conflict in Israel and Gaza as a genocide. And probably wasn't the most popular thing for him to say. Let's go ahead and play it.
Happened here and there. You can't blow children to pieces with military-grade weaponry. You can't do that. That is not allowed. October 7th was 2 years ago. They are still doing it. It is unacceptable. There is no defensible position. As long as you attempt to defend that position, liberals will permanently and endlessly wreck you. You cannot, then your whole brand goes down the pan. The conservatism as a whole goes down the pan.
In law enforcement, they call it +1. If you strike an officer, they can use the taser. If you continue to beat on them, they can use their gun. You come with them with a knife, they can use a gun. It's +1 in force. But what Israel seems to have holistically in leadership is that they have a bloodthirst to just destroy, to eat, to kill, to maim. And and I'm not even telling you that they don't have a right for self-preservation and defend themselves. But Matt, should it have taken 7 hours? If they truly, on October 7th, if it was truly about October 7th, does it take 7 hours for the IDF to respond?
You can watch the footage. Not only was the gate purposefully not built in a way in that area that was able to protect, they easily got through, not even with advanced equipment. They were easily able to paraglide in. They were easily able to get past every single defense that we're told Israel has. Not a huge border. They can easily defend it. They have more than enough money to spend on that. That was the first thing. The second thing is you can see also in the clips Israeli helicopter gunfire firing into the crowd, essentially aimlessly. These are IDF soldiers by the time they finally do get there, and they're shooting equal amounts of their own people as they are of the bad guys. So it's not even just at the base level that they took so long to respond. It's that they purposely allowed it to happen in the first place. It's that they wanted it to happen. It's that they killed even more people in order to justify then expanding the land. They want more land because they want to grow in population. They want to be a larger, more powerful country. They want to take advantage of other countries in order to get to that point. The Israeli government does. There's plenty of good people in Israel that are not part of that. But it's getting harder and harder to distinguish between those people and the people at the top, because if you support it, you're guilty. And way too many people in Israel do support what their government is doing. That is sad. And it brings us to the point. The reason why the Tate brothers have all these charges is the Jews are just mad that the Tate brothers are better at trafficking than them. No, I'm just, that's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke at ADL. Don't cancel me, ADL. It's just a joke. Just a joke. But seriously though, I mean, these are fake charges. I couldn't resist. I had to do it. But the Tate brothers right now are very.
You ever heard the saying "too soon"?
Too soon.
Too soon.
Not allowed. You're not allowed to say that, Matt. You're banned now. You're banned from everything.
Okay, so what? You did have some people that came and to the defense of Tate, and this was on Benny Johnson's show, and this is Alina Haba. Let's go ahead and play it.
Hello, Alina.
Hi.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. I'm a big fan.
Well, nice
Big
to meet
fan.
you. I'm a fan. You're the one saving Trump. You're doing more important work than me.
America, not just Trump. And I agree with everything you just said. And I think that your anger is the same that President Trump has for our country. And the time is now for us to stop being wimps. I think that's exactly the right sentiment. And I also have to say that I sympathize with you because I think you go through a lot of the same show me the person, I'll find the crime that President Trump has gone through. And
She's right. And it's powerful to hear her say that. That's a woman who's defending Andrew Tate publicly, someone who has something to lose, who has a position of power, and she's willing to do that. That means a lot. That's important. You don't see that often.
Arbiter of reality. Can I give you some?
Bring me back to reality, Joe. I'm already getting canceled by everyone for this show, so you might as well.
Listen, I don't agree with everything the Tate brothers say. I think that Andrew Tate is a lot of bluster, and some of that's dangerous. But it's the reality of it is just because it's dangerous in certain ways doesn't mean that he doesn't have a right to say it. And what I mean is that Andrew Tate likes to fight. I like to fight. I'm really good at business. He's really good at business. I chose to draw a line in the sand. I didn't go over that line. He did. Right? He chose to live in a life where he made money on women. Like it or not, I don't like it. Right? I don't like it. That's just me. I don't think trafficking of women in any regard is actually good. Yeah, and can I forgive it? Yeah, I mean, if he's moved past that and he's, his life is different now, and he's sure, I can move past it. But do I think that I can say unequivocally that his life? I mean, there are certain people in my life that I would never. I'm out. I mean, I would be out on. And I don't think Andrew Tate, I think he's a strong man, but he advocates for men being strong. And just so you know, most men aren't built like him. They're not built like me. Most men won't run towards gunfire. They will run away from it. Most men won't put themselves in a position where they could compromise their own safety in order to help someone else. I would. I believe he would. But at the same time, I can't sit here and tell you that there's any correlation between Andrew Tate and President Trump. I can't do it. I can't in good conscience do that. I can't sit here on the show and do that. Now, do I think that they're persecuting him? Yes. Do I think there's something to it? No. Do I think they made themselves an easy target? Yes. But am I going to run down and be fanboy on the Tate brothers? The answer is no. I absolutely will not. And for all the same reasons why I would never want my daughter or my wife or my sister or any of the women in my family to ever feel like they're lesser because he says all women are the same, because they're not. They're not. Sorry. And I'd say that to Andrew Tate's face as soon as I would say it to you right now.
Could you beat Andrew Tate in a fight?
I don't know. I'm a tough son of a bitch, so I probably.
Andrew Tate, I think he only lost 7 out of 70 fights or something. He's pretty good. That'd be I would pay, but Joe's also good at fighting, so I would pay to see that fight. That'd be interesting to watch. Also, by the way, Andrew Tate, I support 100% of all things he's ever said and morally approve fully of everything he's ever done in his entire life.
No, you don't. No, I already know you don't. Because you can't do
that with anyone. By the way, Trump would look good in a pimp outfit. I feel like Trump walking in with
they have some AI of Trump in that there.
The gold cane, the purple suit. Like Trump as a pimp would be pretty badass.
So here's the part that let me fully wrap this for you. Now, let me get back to the part where Andrew Tate, I'm not questioning who you are as a man. Okay? Not doing it. I'm simply saying this. The guy that came out of prison who embraced his faith in God, that's the Andrew Tate that I identify with. Is the one that came through fire, came out the other side, still has a little rough, he's still rough around the edges, because that's just who Andrew Tate is. He grew up fighting. But a man that literally can identify with and connect himself to the Almighty God. That's the man who is seeking redemption. And so a lot of the things that he says and does are things that I can identify with based on that. That's how I know that 10 years ago, you can't just drub something up from 10 years ago and say, hey, we're going to try and throw you in jail for the rest of your life because we don't agree with some of the things you're saying and it becomes dangerous. Because all the same things that they did to Andrew Tate, they did to me, only there was just less meat on the bone. There was less, I didn't have those proclivities, right? I had others fighting, right? And dealing drugs when I was a kid. Like I had to come out and say that stuff because I knew someone was going to be like, didn't you sell drugs as a kid? Yeah, I did. I did sell drugs as a kid. So I've spent my entire life running towards things that I did wrong, but calling them wrong. And I think that this is the opportunity for him. He should call himself out and say, look, I'm not proud of everything I did, but I did it. I lived that life. I made money on it. And I think is leading a life of recompense now. But he also said he's close to the Trump family, which I could see.
I could see that. He is. I mean, I know for a fact he is. I wouldn't say necessarily close friends with Andrew Tate, but I do consider him to be a friend. He reposts me when I'm supporting him, which I appreciate. And I'm sure hopefully he appreciates as well the support that we give to him because he deserves it. He doesn't deserve to go to prison for life. He needs to continue having a platform that he can use for good. And he does hopefully have a path closer to God as a result of everything that's happened. And I hope he takes it. I know he is going to take it. I believe that. And so it's a good thing, what we're doing. And I appreciate Andrew's impact so far. And I think over time, it's going to be even better. So I look forward to seeing the future, but we can go ahead and play that clip. This is important. And I think everyone be surprised by this clip.
Let's play it.
And I'm very close to the Trump family. I know them well, and I spoke to Barron after the incident, and I look forward to, once I am free, being with Donald Trump in person and reminding him that he's a bulletproof badass.
This is the attorney for President Trump, somebody who has been a fighter for the America First Party.
You know, it's so easy for the media to take something that happened in your life. And this is what I want to just warn people on. They take something that happened in your life and say, oh yeah, Andrew Tate bad. Because that's what the media thrives on. They thrive on the ability to destroy people based on taking any warts that they may have, exploiting them, and then creating an opportunity where they can just pounce on them. It's a real problem. It's not a small problem. It's a huge problem. And people will get dragged into this. And then you'll have people on social media tonight, and they're going to be going off saying, oh, Andrew Tate, he's rot in prison. You'll have dudes walking around saying, yeah, it's just a matter of time till it caught up to him. But they don't know. They don't know. It's innocent until proven guilty, except for if you're George Floyd. Right?
So you're saying Andrew should hold a pregnant woman at gunpoint, and then you will have statues of him instead of going to prison?
No. What I'm saying is the opposite. They revered a man and said, oh, we're going to get past all of this stuff. Even after it came out, we're not going to do anything. But they're willing to attack and basically destroy the Tate brothers and say, you guys both need to go to prison for the rest of your life for something that happened 10 years ago that may or may not have happened.
Right.
I mean,
they're not black. If they were more black, maybe they would get off scot-free. They're a little bit too white to be able to get off scot-free in the UK.
But my point is that, it's one of the reasons why I hate social media. I freaking hate social media. I hate it. There's no courage. There's no honor. There's no humility. You put stuff out there and talk about things that are happening, and everyone's got an opinion. And then when you say something that, if somebody says something to you, so you articulate back to them why that's not the case, they don't even read it because they're so freaking retarded that they can't even read the basic stuff that you wrote. And there's a lack of just institutional knowledge. Just the academia in social media is just not there. Now, part of that is the fact that we have massive amounts of bots that are out there communicating with you. You don't even know if you're talking to a real person, Matt. It's a joke. And nobody ever talks to you the way that they talk to you on social media for fear that they get their teeth kicked in. And I'm not even talking about me. I'm talking about like anyone. But they lie. Man, it's become like an art. The amount of lies that they can tell on social media about anyone at any time. And I've been the brute person. Go look at my Wikipedia page. You look at it, I'm like, I changed it, Matt. I changed all of it. I put in all the references and everything else. It wasn't 12 hours later, it was back to serial killer Joe Altman that, I'm thinking to myself, what the hell? And there's nothing you can do about it. They can just slander you with impunity because they get to decide how they take you out. Social media. Welcome.
By the way, I would love to see a platform which people who are trolling on social media can come together in person and fight it out. That'd be a lot of fun. That'd be. I need to be careful what I wish for, considering what I do for a living. But that would be quite a good entertainment standpoint to watch that happen. Social media is a very different thing than real life.
It's not real life.
Connection is so much different. To be able to talk to you, Joe, in person versus if we had never met, it's a different feeling. Yeah. I feel like I know you as a man. I know who you are. And you can't truly know someone without meeting them in person. There's something special. There's a spark about it that's different.
Yeah. I think more people have to spend more time with other people. And I say it all the time down in Texas. The people in Texas are just nicer. They're just nicer people. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that culturally it's better. People are interacting with each other differently there. You go to a grocery store and the woman walking down the aisle towards you. I'm like, how are you doing? You just want to say hi to people. You do that in Colorado and, you get some sort of freakish, try to pin a pride flag to your forehead. It's not real life. Yeah. I don't know. What if I told you that they don't want to give loans out anymore? Banks don't.
Of course not. You have to fit a certain description. Isn't that right?
And we keep talking about this stuff and people get upset over the truth. And the truth is that the truth is hard to swallow. And here's some truths just to bow wrap the Tate brothers. The Tate brothers are just like everybody else. They're just like everyone else. They're not running around trying to rape women and do bad things to women. They're just not. They understand the implications of being in the public eye. And they accepted that fate when they decided to get in the public eye many years ago. But here's what I do know. I have a friend that went to go get a mortgage, couldn't get a mortgage. He couldn't get a mortgage at all.
It's not easy.
Oh. But there's a mortgage lending company that'll give you money. You have to fit one criteria, though.
Ah, geez, I wonder what that could be. Essay.
No, you can't be a U.S. citizen. So here's, let's put that up there if we can. There's a mortgage company out there that is lending money to illegals and created a guide for illegals on avoiding deportation in the middle of it.
Mi no gusta.
And while Americans are struggling to buy homes, it's a big problem. Prisma Lending is selling out our country to illegal aliens. And this is what they said. If ICE approached you in your home or car, do not open your door unless ICE presents a judicial warrant signed by a judge with their name and recent date. Stay silent if asked about immigration status. I choose to remain silent and request an attorney. Memorize an attorney's contact details and share it with the family. If detained, immediately request legal representation. Inform ICE if you fear returning to your home country. Triggers a credible fear interview. Yeah, this is nuts. But here's the video. Can we go ahead and play it? Let's play.
And that's something we've told clients for years. It's, at Prisma, again, we're super honored that Latinos come to us. Well, people from all different parts of the world looking for loans that don't require a legal status. But we always encourage people to seek really the option to become, legalized, because long term, that's definitely going to benefit them and their family. So
Yeah.
I think we're going to have your information, I think, right on the bottom, and people can definitely reach out to you and your firm
Yeah.
if they don't have somebody that they can reach out to see if they have any options.
Danger, danger.
How does that even work? If you don't pay your loan, just head on back to Venezuela. What are they going to do about it?
Well, yeah. And so their website, yeah, you put it up there. Yeah, go. It actually advertises loans for undocumented immigrants. On the site says customers can qualify without showing legal residency.
I wonder what that interest rate is. Better be high to be able to pay for all the people who don't come through.
It says I-10 loans, no social security card needed, no green card needed. It gets worse though. They can use basically an EIN number, taxpayer identification number, and the same scheme that allowed Colony Ridge to attract thousands of illegal aliens. The I-10 was never intended to be used to expand financial services. It wasn't. But this is the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it is predatory. Make no mistake about it. If they're doing this, it's because it's predatory. And we keep talking about white versus black versus Latino and Muslim versus Jewish versus Christian. You know what comes to mind as I look at all that? The same thing comes to mind is that they want us divided every way that we can be divided. They want us to question. If you don't question race, I don't question race. But if you don't question race, maybe you'll question religion. If you don't question religion, maybe you'll question ethnicity. If you don't question ethnicity, maybe you'll question it's divide. Maybe you'll question the fact of you're gay or straight. Oh, that's not enough? Maybe you'll question the fact that you don't support LGMPQ, whatever else it is.
How dare you, Joe? You're not going to pronounce it correctly.
Nope.
You're gonna get canceled too for
Gaslit.
this show. How dare you? You need to say the full correct pronunciation: LGBTQ AI plus minus sign.
Dude, you scare me. The fact that you knew all that.
I think I got it wrong, by the way. I'm pretty sure I just got that wrong. Close enough, though.
It sounded pretty professional. It sounded like you knew what you were talking about. It sounds like you might have etched that somewhere. I'm a little fearful right now.
I have to make sure the ADL doesn't cancel me, Joe, after the joke I made earlier.
Bro.
I need to be extra woke the rest of the show.
You spit that like serious. Like I'm worried.
I'm gonna come into the office with blue hair tomorrow, and Joe's gonna be
better not.
He's gonna be like,
I'm gonna shave it off. But we have to identify the fact that they are dividing us in every which way, and now conservatives are being divided by people that are out there lying. Wait till I get to that part. This is crazy. You have people that are GOP chairs and everything else that are coming out telling us that, oh yeah, Congress is now doing what the American people want to do. Do you think Congress is doing what the American people want?
I hate Republicans so much right now to watch them betray our country yet again when they have an opportunity to do the right thing yet again. I mean, we've come to expect it. Imagine a country where they actually did a good job. We could have that. That's possible. And yet we're just so used to, oh yeah, there it is. Congress doing a terrible job again. Ramming through another bad bill, not protecting our interests anymore.
It gets worse. They're just not passing any bills. You got the big bad bill, the big beautiful bill that they're going to get across the finish line.
It sucks, by the way, and I'm very disappointed in Trump with the bill he put forward. I think he could have done way better. I'm hoping he's just doing that as a straw man to then put something better in place that looks, by comparison, much better. Is he playing 3D chess, or is Trump actually at a place where he's putting through such a terrible bill? And we could go through the details on why it is. I already did that last show. I don't know if we need to go through all the details again, Joe, but there's so many things in that bill that just absolutely suck.
We have found out so much stuff because we actually read it, actually go through it. It's not like a TikTok video. Oh, it's big, beautiful bill. Maybe. But at some point, do you know what people want? I'm going to tell you what people want. They want no voting machines, no mail-in ballots, vote in person, bring your ID, precinct level counting, and give back the voice to the American people. You want to know what they want, President Trump? That's what they want. They want what they fought for the last 5 years, for you to make that come to fruition. And you could say, well, you can't do it because of states' rights. And you got people that are in your cabinet that are running around and saying it's just weird shit. You can't do it. You can't get Tina Peters out, but you can get this other person out that's a person that was on TV. And you can't. I mean, it's BS. Look, Biden did some things that we knew were illegal. We knew that they were illegal, and he did them anyway. Let me just give you an idea of what one of those things is. Just so we can say, hey, can you go get Tina Peters out of jail? Can you do it? Well, no, I can't because it was a state's deal. Well, that's bullshit too. Biden forgave farm loans for non-white farmers only. Like if you weren't white, you got your loan forgiven. That's like lining people up and saying, you over there, you're partially, I'm gonna slave you on this, but you over here, I'm gonna release you being a slave in this. It literally is, it's racism. And it's done just to piss people off, to divide us more. And when they were told that they couldn't do it and that it was illegal, they're like, yeah, who cares? We're gonna do it anyway. Let's go ahead and play it.
When former President Joe Biden left Washington, D.C., he was leaving behind a DEI secret involving American farmers and $800 million in taxpayer money. And a United States Department of Agriculture whistleblower is now sounding the alarm.
It was to pay off anyone who wasn't a white male's loan. That was the only qualification for this loan forgiveness.
And what was the reaction?
So it was really silent. They were trying to keep this hushed because of the obvious implications of race-based loan forgiveness.
Race-based loan forgiveness. It's in black and white, buried in the American Rescue Plan Act. The United States Secretary of Agriculture shall provide a payment in an amount up to 120% of the outstanding indebtedness of each socially disadvantaged farmer or rancher. The act explicitly lays out who's considered socially disadvantaged.
So just to be clear, if you were American Indian, Alaskan Native, Asian Black, African American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, Hispanic, or Latino, and you were in that group, you were told you didn't have to pay your bills, essentially?
Yes, that's correct, and that your loan would be forgiven up to 120% of the loan value.
To me, it was combating racism with more racism. I couldn't believe that it was happening in today's age.
James Dunlap owns a small family farm in Baker City, Oregon. He works 2 other jobs to keep his farm afloat, but did not qualify for the loan forgiveness because he's white.
I knew what they were saying was that minority farmers were going to have their loans forgiven for no reason other than they decided to, they being the government. So.
And how much money they had nothing to do with it.
As far as I understand, not at all. It wasn't about hardship. It wasn't about financial situations at all. It was purely what box you checked under that ethnicity line on your application.
If you checked a non-white box, you got the free money, no matter how rich you were. What? James and other white farmers sued the Biden administration and were successful. The loan forgiveness for any farmer who's not white was stopped. The judge writing in his decision, it was an actual constitutional harm that cannot be undone. And James and other white farmers will suffer the harm of being excluded from eligibility for that debt relief program solely on the basis of his race. That harm he has shown is irreparable. But this is where things get interesting. The Biden administration was not ready to give up. They passed the Inflation Reduction Act to help farmers who couldn't pay their loans. It was supposed to help all farmers, but News Nation has learned all farmers were not told about it. News Nation obtaining a copy of this email that was sent out to share information about new payments and/or loan modifications that may assist you. But here's the catch. Our whistleblower says it was only sent to the minority farmers, aka the socially disadvantaged group. And he says USDA workers were even instructed to tell that group to stop paying their loans because they would still be forgiven. The whistleblower says none of the white farmers he works with received the email.
They got nothing. You know, it might not meet the legal definition of fraud, but it isn't right. It was discriminatory, it was unethical, and the people who pushed it are still in charge of the agency.
They're still in charge?
Yes. At our national office, they're still, Trump hasn't got rid of them.
We reached out to the United States Department of Agriculture. They did not respond to our specific questions or our questions about what the whistleblower said, that some of these DEI policies still remain in effect and in some of the documentation. But they did send us this statement, Elizabeth. I want to read to you in part. It says, it is absurd that while the Biden administration was driving up inflation, American taxpayers were forced to fund billions in woke DEI initiatives. No one should be shocked that Biden weaponized bipartisan farm
Now, here's the one thing about that whistleblower. If it's anything like Garrett O'Boyles or Steve Friend or Kyle Seraphin or any of the FBI whistleblowers, or I was a whistleblower, it doesn't matter. They're going to go after and destroy the guy. And the people that are ahead of the USDA, yeah, they're going to still be there. Because he's going to come out and say some things, and they're going to be like, we're not like that. We just followed our orders. We had a chain of command. There is a real problem in this country that if we don't get it under control, is going to lead to war. And that is this anti-white, and it's big. And by the way, the reason why it is the way it is an insane amount of jealousy. It is jealousy. It is a jealousy that is so obvious. And we don't want to talk about it. We want to call it what it is. Like, you're jealous of white people. I don't understand. I don't understand it.
I mean, white people are pretty awesome. So, I mean, it makes a little bit of sense from that standpoint, I guess.
Black people are awesome. Asian people are awesome. Most people are just ridiculously, they're just stupid. Stupid people are the ones that say white people, they're stupid. You're a simpleton. You're not smart. You're dumb. And you're so threatened by another white person doing well that you didn't get the opportunity, that you have to revel in this idea that white people walk around saying, we just want to make sure that no black people get an opportunity, while white liberals are the ones telling you can't have anything while destroying your very community you live in. It's nuts. It's nuts. And this is the most retarded thing we talk about. We need to bring back retarded. Retarded needs to be, we need to call everything retarded. That TV's retarded. Retarded. If it's just retarded, we'll just call it retarded. Everything's retarded. How you feel today? I'm feeling less retarded than I did yesterday.
I love it.
Right?
That's perfect. Retarded is the new adjective in style. It's here to stay. It's not going anywhere.
All right.
Did you notice, by the way, the weakness, though? As good as it is that he's calling that out and doing the lawsuit, and he's willing to publicly go on an interview and say the things he said, that's the bare minimum that everyone should be doing to protect our rights. There was still weakness when he decided to say on camera, they're fighting racism with more racism. They're not fighting racism with more racism. They're just doing racism. The only real racism that currently exists is against white people. That's it. It's the only real racism that currently exists. So there is no fighting other racism. There is just perpetrating that version of racism. And because of the weakness, where people have to say, they have to walk on eggshells, we have to pretend like this, pretend like that. That weakness is what allows those policies to go forward in the first place.
Yeah.
It's weakness. And even the people who are our strongest leaders against the bad stuff are still being weak.
Most people in government are weak. They're just weak people. I'm sorry, they are. President Trump is like an anomaly. Look at Mike Johnson. Man, they're going off in the comments, by the way. Okay, so let me say Farhan said some things that are true, very true, and everyone's kind of going after him for it. So I'm just going to tell you guys this. Me and Jeff went back and forth over the Quran and the teachings of Isa al-Masih, Jesus the Messiah, that were in the Quran, and how many times Jesus was mentioned over being mentioned in the Bible, and the fact that Muslims didn't trust the Bible because it had been altered so many times, and that the Quran, he's right, it has remained largely unchanged. Right? The surahs of the Quran have been largely unchanged, where if you look at the Bible, it has gone from translation of Aramaic to not Arabic, but to Greek and to Hebrew and to, different languages, different Semitic languages, and then it loses its meaning. Like the idea of the Bible, if you look at it from Greek or Hebrew, meaning that they refer to Jesus as a boy, right? It's not true. It's completely. It would be, you wouldn't want to say that about the Son of God. And yeah, there's the prophet and everything else. I want to get into that later. I am going to have a whole show on the Bible, the Quran, Aramaic, Arabic translations, the similarities between stories in the Bible and the Quran. How I could get a Muslim to believe that Jesus is the Son of God by using their own teachings, which I've done this many times. And anyway, so welcome to the show. And I'd love to get involved in the conversation because it's really interesting, but I'm not going to do it right now. Okay, so another attack on white people. And this one is, I feel like we're doing the white unabashing white people.
Unbashing white people. Unabashing of white people.
But this is the Elias Rodriguez guy that shot two diplomats, IDF people that came out of the Holocaust Museum. Yeah.
Which is weird because, so as we look through this, you're going to see this guy did not have a lot of Jewish hatred inside his chat log.
He had white hatred.
It was mostly targeted against white people specifically, and some people consider Jewish people to be white. That's debatable. But regardless, his specific criticism was not of a specific subgroup. Bro. It was of It's a matter of I respect people's opinion on it. Some people believe they are, some people believe they aren't. It's up to you. It's
They're
your
white
decision.
as hell. Look, you're not walking across. You're describing what you see, dude. You are white. White.
I've seen some pretty non-white Jewish people. So I guess
too.
maybe some Jewish people are, some Jewish people aren't. I guess it just depends.
Then they can call themselves brown people. It's a color.
Is that what it's called?
You're literally white, or you're brown, or you're black.
Just hold up the card and you got all the colors on it, and just hold it to your skin, and that's what you are, I guess.
Bro, come on, seriously. How is this even a conversation? They can say they're not white. Well, what color are you? Jew? Oh, I didn't know. I got a box of crayons. Let's see. I got an orange one. I got a red one. I got a brown one. I got a black one. I got a Jew one. Hey, let's take the Jew one out. Let's color with it. Man, you are what you are. Own it. You say, well, we're different. Well, you're not a Samaritan. You're an Israelite. I know too much about the history. Sorry.
The argument is that if you look at some of the worst anti-white books, if you look at some of the worst anti-white movies, anti-white stuff in Hollywood, if you look at the anti-white stuff in the NBA and you look at who's perpetrating it, look at the names of the authors, look at the names of the people who are behind it, a lot of them are formerly Jewish atheists. And so people say, how can you be white and also hate white people? And so that's the argument people make.
Rubenstein.
I think that's why some people don't want to consider Jewish people to be white, even if they actually are. Even though at the same time, there's also many Jewish
because you
people.
want to create division. You want to create weakness and people that are. You got the red, green, alliance, right? Same bullshit.
Because there are Jewish people that are good. That's a fact. There are Jewish people who are focused on family. And so it's. But I understand at the same time the perspective that you don't want to associate as a race with a group of people who hates you if a large percentage of them do. So that's I kind of get that argument. It's up to opinion. In my opinion, it can go either way. But I see. I mean, you're right. I see your point though, Joe. I mean, it's kind of hard if you look at someone who's Jewish. They do look white.
All right, somebody do me a favor.
You can call them white.
Go get me a crayon box and show me the Jew crayon. It's a color. Are you either white or you're not white?
Okay, what about albino black people, Joe? Are they white?
They're white.
There we go. Breaking news: albino black people are officially white. What about Muslim people who have no tan?
So albino is a lack of melanin. Period.
Yeah.
See, white people have melanin, so they're an albino is a white person, a white black person, right? They're literally a person that has all the color stripped from them. There are albino white people that are not only super white, but they're hard to look at. Because
if you look at them too long, you go blind.
Glasses on. I can't see anything, right? But we have all these discussions and conversations about color, and then Jews like, I'm not white. What are you, Jewish? Go get me a crayon out of the Jewish box, please. I just need a crayon that says Jew crayon. And you know what? They're probably going to come up with one. Maybe like transparent or something. I don't know. Like, crayon. Do you understand?
This is the best show. This is literally the best. You have to subscribe. You have to. This is the best show.
Okay, so check this out. An unequivocally no woman who knew Rodriguez told me when she was asked, he made anti-Semitic remarks. Absolutely. Everything I know about Elias leads me to believe he acted in protest of Israeli state and Zionist ideology, not Judaism. He never, ever said anything remotely racist about Jews or anyone, said another woman who knew him, not even in a joking way. I would have sussed it out too, a woman identified as half Jewish said. People can pick up on stuff like that. I don't think so, said a man who had known him since middle school. Not openly, said a former coworker. He never commented on it or anything. One person I spoke to gave me access to the messages from a private group chat where Rodriguez was a prolific poster up to the day before the shooting. I spent several days pouring through his words. The messages don't reveal any hatred of Jews per se, but they do portray an often bitter man who hated all sorts of other things, especially Israel and its war on Gaza. Now, let me just go through some of this. He said something like, one thing at a time, I suppose. It's hard time focusing, so turn on the radio on to help lock in, as it were. Had NPR on for a bit, and they introduced a segment interviewing two IDF soldiers about what they witnessed in Gaza, and how they cope. Okay. Made it even harder to focus. The genocide making me go a bit nuts every few days and break down crying. Okay. So let me just tell you what he just said in this. One, NPR is literally a propaganda site that is some of the worst human beings known to man are NPR. National Public Radio. I used to listen to CPR, Colorado Public Radio. Wait, don't tell me. David Sedaris was this really funny gay guy who wrote a bunch of books. And I thought he was super funny because he was open about his struggles as a gay man. And my wife would listen to him. And so I would listen to him because he would talk about quirky things. And so I enjoyed listening to different people's perspectives, even though it wasn't my perspective. So I got a lot out of NPR. Then about 2017, NPR did this turn and it became anti-white. It became anti-white. And I would listen to things and I'm like, yeah, I can't listen to this anymore. I can't condone this. This is basically racism with bacon on it. Right? Make it look good, but it's really, really bad. Anyway, as you go further down, it says one of the biggest things that Stalin didn't do wrong was ending the most anti-Semitic regime ever known to man. And he goes further, and this is where you start getting into the hatred for white people.
A deep hatred. A very
deep hatred.
Sewn in hatred.
So put this up if you would. LOL, you would probably have to actually genocide white people to make this a normal country. Like even a very targeted and selective rehabilitation program would probably have to lead to the lifetime imprisonment of tens of millions of white people.
And we're finding out. So a lot of his friends were Jewish, apparently, according to who's defending him right now. So it seems unlikely that this was a targeted attack for that reason. It seems like he just hated white people.
He hated white people.
He saw this as an opportunity to attack the group that he considered to be white people who were killing Palestinians.
And do you know why I stopped listening to NPR in 2016, 2017?
Because they say stuff like that.
Because they were anti-white.
NPR is evil. NPR, if they were shot out into outer space on one of Elon Musk's rockets, I think the world will be a better place. We maybe should arrange that.
I mean, I'm telling you guys right now, that's the reason why I stopped listening to it. And I'm not the only one. There are a lot of people. I used to give money to NPR and CPR. I would give money to them. I'm talking about thousands of dollars every year I would give to them.
How many thousands?
More than I want to admit on this show. And
well, I mean, you didn't know at that time.
I didn't know. And it's the same reason I voted for Obama in 2008. I truly wanted change. I saw the institutional evil that represents every part of our government. It's really bad. Like I was overseas in the Middle East. I learned Arabic so I could find out who I could and couldn't trust over there. And it turns out that you can't trust America. Like our CIA infiltrates every part of every society of every country in the world, and they are evil as they're evil. They're evil. And I could tell you stories about CIA guys. Chuck Faddis he came here. Apollo. I'm lying, I'm dying. Came here, asked me questions about Coomer. And I answered all of his questions. And he got agitated because I knew something was up. And he had someone that was there with him across the room. And I've been consistent as hell over the 5 years. And I've given up a lot for it. And so I saw things. And so if I could do it all over again, I would never have voted for Obama. Like he is like the Antichrist, and he's like the worst person in the world who ushered in this racism, this reverse racism that is, he rejected who he was so that he could destroy this country. And Elias Rodriguez, it gets worse. He wrote a huge thing here. It says, attacks another member in the chat who he saw as privileged for lamenting about the challenges of having a brother with schizophrenia. Rodriguez said in a post, why not just have him committed? You can't possibly be gaining anything from a relationship with a person like that. Just put him in a padded room and forget about him. If there was a person you loved, he's gone now. Let it go. You could just chain him up in the basement and slide meals under the door. I'm just tired of hearing about this guy. He's useless. We get it. Stop complaining and just dispose of him. That's the guy that listens to NPR. NPR puts this idea that you can just have a disregard, a reckless disregard for anyone that you don't like. And it gets worse. Man, it's really bad. We'll put the article in. Put the article in all the places. But this is a guy he's not just anti-white. He's demonic. If we don't get this under control, Matt, if we don't get the anti-white under control and stop this deal where these atheist, godless people are trying to separate themselves from a color, because that's what it is, then you won't know who to trust and not to trust. And it's another angle, it's another dissection of division. And we're so stupid we can't see it. I actually have better conversations with liberals online than I do with conservatives. Because what kind of conservative are you? Well, shit, I'm not like the Republicans that are in Congress now. Are you like them?
Yeah, I'm exactly like them. I'm literally a clone of all of them. I'm weak, pathetic. I'm 5'4".
You're none of those things.
I hate family. You know, I want to just spend all of our money into debt. I love getting kickbacks from the military industrial complex. That's my favorite thing. You know, I pass these big, beautiful bills. Then I get a couple million in speaker roles and Boeing board seats like Nikki Haley and others in the Trump administration. That's what I do. I'm exactly like all of them. To a T. That's me.
No.
No.
You're the opposite of that. All right. Enough of the white. Can we talk about someone who's not white?
We can.
Pocahontas.
Yeah. Indian.
So the crypto czar, David Sachs, just exposed a person, Elizabeth Warren, a.k.a. Pocahontas, as the one behind the auto pen. Play it.
This is the financial system of the future, Jesse, and we have to encourage it. What the Biden administration was doing, and let's face it, it wasn't Biden. Elizabeth Warren controlled the auto pen during that administration. She, for some reason, has this pathological hatred of the crypto community. She wants to drive this community offshore. She doesn't want it happening in the United States. That's the wrong policy for the United States. We want all the innovation happening here. This is a financial system of the future. It's cheaper. It's more efficient. We want it happening here, Jesse, and I think people are thrilled that President Trump is making that possible.
It can't be legal. Brain dead guy. Once in a lifetime deal. They thought they had it to destroy America. They almost had it done. Which is why I think President Trump needs to act with just a fire that he's never seen before and drive this stuff out.
If only he was a little younger, I feel like he would have more of that ability. But maybe he still will. He still has some of it left. Maybe Trump does have enough fire. We know he has a good soul. We know he has a good heart. Maybe he can muster up enough fire to really go after these people with the level of fury that is warranted after they tried and may still succeed at stealing, destroying, and thieving our country away.
Yeah, we have trouble if we don't. We got a couple of really cool things that I think is something to be proud of that's happening right now. And it's not what we want. I want Tina out of jail.
So like yesterday. Yeah.
I want people to stop lying about the fact that they're doing the work of the American people. They're not.
Can we just have Trump send some feds in and get her out? I mean, what's it going to take? Can Trump decide to somehow use some loophole in the law to put federal charges against her instead of state charges and then pardon her? Can we do the same thing with Derek Chauvin? Can we start having some action here, and can we switch their places with the evil
Derek
people
Chauvin
who belong to be in
was
prison?
that was a federal charge.
Well, he has both federal and state. So even if you take away his federal, he's still going to be in prison.
But he's at a federal prison in Texas right now.
Yeah, so Trump is likely going to pardon. I think he will. I think he'll pardon his federal charges, but it won't matter because he's still going to spend the next 20 years in prison on state charges. So he got both. They did that on purpose. And Texas, though.
That's why they do state charges. Yeah. That's why they do it. That's why they.
Well, it's Minneapolis. Is he in Texas? He got moved to Texas?
Yeah, he's in Texas now.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So, but the Minneapolis state charges are the ones that will hold, and the Minneapolis governor, who you may know very well, a weak, pathetic man, is not going to waltz his way into anywhere and do anything about it. We know that for a fact.
Such so today, the Department of the Navy is stopping testing on cats and dogs. So they were using.
It must have been really rough on those dogs.
Listen, Doge actually uncovered this, that they were using dogs and cats. That basically they were having experiments on dogs and cats, and you would have, and I'm talking massive amounts of dogs and cats.
It is really sad.
And they uncovered it and said, okay, we're done doing this.
What does a cat say when you do a painful experiment on it?
I don't know.
Meow.
Okay, okay. And as we wrap up the show, very quickly,
that's so terrible. No, I mean, but in reality, it is genuinely awful that was happening. Dogs are our best friends for a reason. I like cats a little bit less. I still like cats though. Cats are still great, and those are the two animals that should be at the very bottom of the list of anything that you do anything like that to. It's evil. It's awful. I'm glad he's finally stopping it.
I would agree. And just to make you laugh before you leave, in absolute absurdity, there's an Obama musical. I'm not kidding. It's an Obama musical.
Are we gonna go see it? You want to go see it tonight?
Hell no. Let's play it.
Pretty good.
You know what it's about?
That's good vocals.
Making White House Love with Michael and Barack.
I like it, Joe. I thought that was entertaining. I'm gonna go see that later.
You should probably go see it.
Take the whole family. We can go.
I don't think you'll take the whole family. I don't think that'll be. Diana's a little bit she'll kill you. All right. Hey, smash the up button on your way out. So much more that we wanted to go over. We kind of probably talked about a bunch of stuff that we, wasn't that important, but we did get to talk about what was important. I don't even know what that was. I felt like I was Pocahontas there for a minute saying something that meant absolutely nothing. They're pretty good, huh?
That's nice. You'd be good at filibustering with that style.
Thanks for the birthday wishes.
The weave. You did the weave.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Pulled it off.
All right, you going to pray us out?
I am.
All right.
Dear Lord, as Joe just celebrated another birthday, and as all of us continue to fight for what's right and to look at this evil that we see in the world, to see people who are lying and stealing and taking our government away, and as we just also lost Phil Robertson, someone who was a warrior for your name, someone who fought and brought so many people closer to Jesus. I've been watching his podcasts and listening to him for the last 48 hours almost exclusively. And he's just a wonderful man who I know is with you right now.
Mm.
And I encourage him and everyone else on that path, which never truly ends, to be confident and to believe, even if it's hard sometimes, because everyone getting closer to you is a very positive thing. And I hope right now Phil is up there running around, maybe hunting some heaven ducks and just having a beautiful time like all of us are destined to, because you sent your son to die for us and gave us that ability, which we wouldn't have without that. Amen.
Amen. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Sorry I missed yesterday. I was busy.
Busy.
Yeah, I was birthdaying. It's pretty good. And living through a flood. I should probably show you guys. We had a flood, massive flood.
I told him he should build an ark.
Man, I should have.
We still need one, Joe. Just to be safe.
5 inches of water fell in less than an hour, and it filled. It came. We had to put sandbags up. It was crazy. So if you're in San Antonio, there's some areas that got hit really, really hard. There was 6 or 7 feet of water in some areas. So anyway, stay safe. It was fun. I didn't get my boat out, and I didn't have to build an ark. Maybe I will next time.
I'm gonna need a lot of wood.
And your kids are back, which is awesome.
Which is the most beautiful thing in the world. Yeah, kids and wife. It's awesome. It is the best feeling in the world.
Yeah. All right, we'll see you guys soon.